Here we go, Mike. Let's start with Brian Flores, who has had a phone interview and an in-person interview completed yesterday. The best and worst, and maybe something we didn't know.
Well, I mean, he's known for his aggressive blitzing style of defense. He would very much fit into the Blitzburg personality. But I think more than that, he started out as a scout with the New England Patriots. We know that coaches within the Steelers organization have a tremendous amount of say in terms of personnel, talent evaluation, roster construction. So I think maybe the hidden part of Flores that people aren't talking about is that side of him and that experience that he brings. On the flip side, the bad things, I mean, he had a losing record with the Miami Dolphins, and I wonder, it seems like he has a bit of a confrontational personality from what I've heard, may butt heads with some players, and I wonder if he could fall into that category of mad scientist, genius coordinator, not exactly the right kind of head coach.
Bob, this is why we paid DeFabo the big bucks, right?
Yeah, but I do like, you're talking about a CEO type of guy with a strong personality. He has that.
He does. He does. So at the end of each of his soliloquies, you and I and Limits and then Mike are going to put a quick grade on if the Steelers hired this guy. What grade would you give it? I'd give this a B. How about you, Bob?
I'd give it a B+.
Limits?
I'm with you, Joe. I say B.
Mike?
I would say B+. I think I would put him in my top 3 to 5 candidates.
Okay. The man who's over there today and the one everyone's probably most familiar with, Mike McCarthy.
I'll start with the bad thing. I was talking to my mom yesterday on the phone, and she's 64 years old, and she said, hold on, Michael, I'm getting a phone call. Francis. And I was like, Mom, I'm still here. And then she's like, I don't know what's going on. Your dad's calling me. And then she said, hold on, he's calling me back. Wait, is it still you? So Mike McCarthy is 62 years old.
Hey, watch it, buddy.
Don't
He's
make
younger
fun
than
of
Bob.
these 60-year-old guys. Come on
Is
now.
he going to have DK Metcalf fixing his devices every week at the Steelers facility?
And what's wrong with that?
Or they can hire a guy in a blue wig.
You know?
And so, I mean, the other part of it, how long are you going to keep him? How long does he want to keep coaching? So I think that his age is the obvious question mark with him. Not to mention, he also got fired by the Dallas Cowboys, and maybe that's leaving a bad taste in people's mouths. So I mentioned all the negatives, and I think those are the things people are focusing on. On the flip side, the positive is the reason the Steelers are in this situation, in part, is because they were unable to identify, draft, and develop Ben Roethlisberger's successor. This is a quarterback league, and he's worked with the likes of Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, the list goes on. And I think people forget, and I forgot, he won 12 games 3 times with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes,
that is not an easy franchise to win football games. And so I think that he would stabilize an offense and potentially help them get out of this quarterback purgatory and spinning of the wheels that they've been in, which I think is the biggest problem with the franchise right now.
Give us a little nugget we didn't know. Well, do we know everything about him, Bob? Maybe Mike can enlighten us.
I think people know just about everything, but I love the fact that his father was a firefighter, owned a bar. The idea of having a shot and a beer with Mike McCarthy intrigues me more than maybe any of the other candidates.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I said. He's a down-to-earth kind of guy who's never forgotten Greenfield. When he comes back, he gets involved in stuff. I like that. But then again, he's 62, so he's done a lot of things in his life.
But I don't necessarily see that as a downside.
I don't either. You want a grade?
I mean, how old is Andy Reid right now?
No, he's older.
Belichick was 70.
Yeah.
By the time he was done with
How
the
about
Patriots,
Danny
I
Smith
think.
is 72, and he's still going to keep working.
I saw that.
I love that.
Yes. I don't know. Am I starting to get sold on McCarthy? I don't know. I've got to think about this.
I think
for
the
a little
quarterback
bit.
development and
that
his
part
offensive
of it.
mind
It would be
is
great if he
attractive.
was a senior offensive consultant, like it turned into a Tom Moore type. You know what I mean, Mike?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Remember when they brought in Mike McDaniel, and didn't they pair him with a really old defensive coach?
Yeah,
Wade Phillips, I think it was.
Right.
And I think that made sense. Like bringing in a young bringing in a young defensive-minded coach that fits Steeler identity, pairing him with this other guy. The problem with that is, my understanding is the head coach is going to have the opportunity to build his own staff. You can't say you're coming here as the defensive-minded head coach, and here's your offensive coordinator.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. They're going to have the chance to pick their staff.
Never a bad idea, young with old. That's what we did with Pony and Cook. Remember that, Bob?
Yeah. And I think
that turned out great.
He does have this ability to get the most out of quarterbacks.
Great for talk radio, my man.
So, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, if they hired him. But
Ron?
No, not
You're
Ron.
a pathetic person. You know that?
Could you imagine Ron on the sidelines? Can you imagine when he all of a sudden decides, I'm not talking to you for 3 months and you're my quarterback and I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to give you a reason why.
Bob, I think some latent resentment is coming out from you about that.
I'm
You've
just
always said
making
it
fun.
didn't bother you. I think it
didn't
might
bother
have.
me. No, I'm just,
all right.
You've brought it up many times and I'm just using it as a reason to get a laughter out of Austin.
Did he talk to you, Mike? Ron?
Ron Cook?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into anything like that.
Let's not talk about that, ironically. All right, a guy that
I liked Ron. I actually very much liked Ron. I hope he would feel the same way about me.
I hope so, too. A mystery candidate who intrigues me, Anthony Weaver, age 45.
You didn't give a grade yet for McCarthy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. McCarthy, to me, I'm up to a C+. Bob?
B.
D.
Mike?
B-.
Yeah. Anthony Weaver, in-person interview scheduled for Friday. We played the Harbaugh clip. Very dynamic personality. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers-Ravens rivalry is one of the best rivalries in the NFL, and he knows it very well from the other side. As a player, he's 45 years old. He still looks like he could give you some quality snaps. What you're getting in him is basically the guy, the leader of men, the guy who can relate to his players, who can inspire and motivate them. Art Rooney, when the great Jenna Harner asked him at the press conference, what are you looking for in your next head coach? And he said, I'm looking for a leader of men. I'm looking for someone who can have the pulse of this team. This seems like Anthony Weaver would check that box. Downside with him, I guess just like statistically, his defenses haven't been that great, but I think they're better than what you think. He comes from the Ravens tree with Mike McDonald, and there's like 4 or 5 different defensive coordinators who are running similar stuff with simulated pressures and some of the different Fangio-like things they do. I think he's an intriguing candidate.
Bob, what grade would you give this hire?
I don't know as much about it as maybe Mike has just gone through. Again, I talked to a person who knows that he's a really strong CEO. That's how it was described for me.
Yeah.
If the Steelers are looking for that as the number one reason, because Art did mention leadership and the ability to go into a room and command a room, then he would definitely get consideration. Beyond that, I don't know much more about it.
I need a letter grade, Bob.
Oh, you didn't ask for that.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah, I said, what didn't I, Limits? I said, what grade would you give this, Bob?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Bob, report cards due.
C+.
Limits?
Yeah, I'm right around a C, C+. I just don't know enough about him yet.
That's the problem. I'm pleading ignorance on this. I just don't know enough about him, so I'm going to say C+, because having done a little bit of a deep dive here on him, it's hard to find anybody saying anything negative about him. And the interviews that I watch with him, you
John
can
Harbaugh
see
just
the
spoke
personality.
very highly of him.
Yeah.
You played the clip. That's a pretty good endorsement to get.
I guess I'll go C+. Mike?
I think I will too, just because I don't know that he's like a mastermind. Maybe he's better schematically than what I realize, and maybe he was hamstrung by the talent. He just feels like one of those under the radar guys. Like, we haven't been talking about him a lot, but he seems within NFL circles to be more popular than he is in Pittsburgh.
Sure. All right. Now the guy that I think a lot of people believe will get the job, and that's Chris Schula, Rams defensive coordinator, 39 years old, has done a virtual interview. We'll see what lays ahead, or lay ahead, I believe, is the proper form of that, Bob. Lay ahead?
I thought it was lies ahead.
Mike, can you correct us here?
I don't know much about grammar. I just say whatever comes to my mind and hope it's correct.
Give us your Schula pitch.
Well, I think that the pitch is, you look at what the Steelers have done historically, and he seems to check virtually every box. He's defensive-minded guy. He's 39 years old. He comes from football bloodlines. All these things seem to be in line with things the Steelers would like. He also, right now, my criticism of the team is they had the NFL's highest paid defense and they underperformed. He took the lowest paid defense, or second lowest paid defense, and turned them into a top 10 unit.